going on, guys? Morning. Heading to the shop. Not sure what we're gonna do yet. I need to make a shop stool so I got somewhere to sit down around the shop. I need to make a new slab flattening jig for my router. Got a whole bunch of slabs that we need to get milled down flat and square so we can start making some tabletops out of them. Right now we're just driving. Grab you some detergent today. You told me that yesterday and you told me too late. Yo, what up, Chase? Where you up to today, brother? You working? Look at that sun glare coming in the window. That's crazy. I got a line working a little bit, heard that. I'm heading to the shop myself. I got a line on 2 stools that a lady put on Facebook Marketplace, because one of the things I still need for my shop is a stool. I don't have anywhere to like sit down or anything throughout the day when I'm working, so I'm just on my feet the whole time I'm there. And a lady posted 2 shop stools on Marketplace, just like the regular wood, you know, like maple stools, and she put them on there for free. And I found the listing 36 minutes after she posted it. By the time I had messaged her, she already had somebody on their way to come pick them up. So I could have saved me a whole bunch of time having to make a shop stool by just picking those up for free. But it sounds like they're already going to be gone. She's supposed to get a hold of me when they show up to let me know if they actually take them or not. But if I had to assume, they're probably going to take them. There's no reason not to take a free stool. But it's kind of cool because if I have to make a stool, then I get to make a jig for the table saw to cut the circular top. I've used several times. Yeah, man, Marketplace is weird, dude. It's a beast of its own. I hate listing things on Marketplace, man. You get all those people that, I don't know if they accidentally hit the button asking you if it's available, or if they hit it intentionally and changed their mind, or what it is. But you always end up with those 40 messages asking if it's still available. I've got dining tables listed that, you know, it flat out says like straight up, like custom dining tables. These are made per order. You know, everything is custom made. It goes through like the full breakdown of how to order and what the ordering process involves. And then I still get messages from people that are like, hey, is this table still available? I'd like to buy it. Like, what one, dude? There's like 5 tables in the pictures. Like, those people drive me nuts. They're crazy. But you got to put up with it, because out of every 40 messages that you get from somebody, you'll actually get one that orders. Got commissioned to do 2 bathroom vanities. Heck yeah, dude. That'll be sweet. That'll be really nice. One of my good buddies, Matt, just got commissioned to build a walnut vanity, and he actually cut like his own walnut veneer sheets to laminate onto the plywood for the side panels and the door panels and everything. It came out really nice. Used like solid walnut for the spindles and for the rails and stiles on the doors and everything, and then made that walnut veneer for the panels. It came out really nice. I've been trying to get him to make an actual business page on Facebook or something, because right now he's just promoting everything on his personal page, and I told him, you know, like I can't help promote you and stuff off a regular page. Let's make a business page out of it. But he said there's something on Facebook that's not letting him make a business page. So I'm hopefully going to be able to help him figure that out so we can get the ball rolling with him too. Guy that I've been friends with for years and years, probably close to 20 years at this point. But he's trying to do the same thing that I do. Luckily, I live in a nice little town. Well, I say nice, it's not nice, it's awful. I live in a little town, so I don't have to drive super far to get to the shop. Getting a little chilly. They said warming up over the next couple days, but it is flat out cold. Yeah, it's nice. They think it's nice. They keep doing a bunch of construction and shit, but awful, awful town. Awful town. They changed the town motto this year to next door, next level. And I'm thinking in their head the only reason they did that because every town next door to us is on the next level. It certainly isn't us. Yo, what's up, Robert? How you doing this morning, man? We are heading to the shop, figuring out what needs to be done next. I need to make a shop stool. I got some faux leather to actually upholster the top of the shop stool so my butt's not all, you know, cramped and uncomfortable throughout the day. We need to make a slab flattening jig for my router. So I got a whole bunch of slabs that I need to start building out into dining tables. Got some walnut, got some maple, got some pecan, a whole bunch of slabs. I need to make a flattening jig so that I can get all of them, you know, plumbed and squared up, ready to cut and glue up. My work table's 4 foot by 8 foot, so I'm probably just going to make it pretty close to the full size of the work table that I built, so that way I'll be able to flatten tabletops that are up to, you know, give or take a couple inches, probably about 42 inches wide. Which some of them can go up to 48, but anything that's 48 inches wide and 8 to 10 feet long, I'm just going to send off to a mill that's over by here. They're about an hour away from here, but they've got one of those big, massive drum sanders. So if I need anything that big, I'll just send it over to those guys, let them deal with it. Looks like they're digging up my mom's yard today. AT&T's coming through and putting in fiber optic. I got a tractor sitting out here in the driveway. I want to get me one of those little mini excavators. Those things are sweet. Oh, let's get in the shop. Kind of reassess, see how dirty the shop is from the weekend of work. Didn't really clean anything at all over the weekend. Just built a few things, picked up some lumber, picked up a bunch of pecan slabs, I think about 6 of those. Got the little bit of wood that I needed for the flattening jig that I need to make. So let's head on in here and see about what it looks like. Then I'll probably switch over to the computer here shortly. That way I can have my music and everything going. This around here, show you guys. There's the pecan slabs that I got. These were all milled up with a chainsaw, so they're pretty rough. Not in the best shape. I mean, you can see there's like probably a 1/4 inch there difference throughout the whole thing. Got some cracks, which are nice. Going to be some really nice figure that I'll be able to fill with epoxy, put some bow ties in, get some really cool custom work going on with those. And pecan, anybody that doesn't know, is a hickory, which is one of the hardest furniture woods out there. Let's grab the tripod here and I'll get you guys set up. We'll hang out for a minute before I start cleaning up the shop today. Flip this around here. Get the phone in there. Yeah, check that out. Oh, I need to run and grab my coffee. Let me run and get that. I'll be right back. Y'all entertain yourselves for a second. Oh. There we go. Had to get the heater turned on. Freaking cold out here. I need to get the gas line finished up out in the garage so that I can get the gas furnace going in here. Because once I bring those slabs in here, the hallway that I showed that the slabs are sitting in is climate controlled through the HVAC system. But this room has its own heater Robert, we're just south of Indy. We're like 25 minutes south of Indy. But this room is climate controlled, which you pretty much have to have if you're doing, any kind of big furniture work. Everything has to stay within a certain climate. It can't be heating up and cooling down every single day, or you're just going to end up with cracks in your new tabletop. But gas company came out a couple months ago, found that there was a gas leak in the garage on the valve that goes into this room. So I'm going to cut the gas off, get that valve replaced, get this heater on, so that I can bring those slabs into this room and let them, acclimate to this room for about a week before I actually mill them down. West Virginia, I got a buddy that lives in West Virginia. I was trying to think of what town they're in. Oh darn it! It's one of the main cities there. Yeah, see, this is my shop stool. Right now, it's just sitting on the work table. Need to make me a shop stool. Need it to warm up in here. It's probably, 58 degrees in here. But I got Charleston. I think Charleston might be where they're at. I'll have to ask him. I'll figure out exactly where he's at. I was just talking to Wes. Wes is in Georgia, I believe over by Macon. And I think that's close to where we're trying to move to once the kids are out of high school and everything. We're going to take the show on the road for a couple years, do some traveling around and figure out like where we actually want to settle down at. Morgantown and Huntington. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Charleston that they're next to. It's like one of the little suburb towns right next to there. But so check this out. Oh. I'm going to make a shop stool this week. And I went and picked up this pleather. It's got kind of almost like a woven pattern to it. And I'm going to upholster the seat with some foam and with this fake leather on top of it. Just outside Charleston. That's got to be a lot better than being in Charleston, right? Being inside any of the major cities sucks. I've lived everywhere. I lived here in Indy, kind of all around Indiana, on all sides around Indiana. Chicago for a little while, Jersey for not very long, a month and a half maybe. Then I went over to Santa Barbara, which is close to LA, for a while. And then ultimately ended up back over here in Indiana again for whatever reason. People that look at moving here, I don't know why. There's nothing to do here. It's awful. There's a handful of lakes, some camping and hiking and stuff like that. But other than that, it's boring, dude. It's all corn, soybeans. So we need to set up, what are we going to do today? Let's build, first I need to do some cleaning up, and then I'm going to switch over live to computer so we can have our music and everything going. And then I'm probably going to do, the slab flattening jig first to get that done and out of the way, and then see about getting the shop stool made up so that we can glue the base of that and have that setting up in the clamps. All trees here and big hills. See, I'm looking for something like that, man. Indiana, if you look at it, I mean, it's just flat across the entire state. When you get like super far south into Indiana, like almost Kentucky area, Kentucky is part of, a mountain range, so that kind of bleeds out into southern Indiana, which when I go hunting and stuff, that's typically where I go. I end up going south of where we are. Indy is kind of like dead smack center, and we're about 30 minutes outside of Indy. So, little small town that likes to think that they're a big town up by the big city. But it's not awful, it's just not, I mean, dude, compared to other places I've been, there's nothing here to do. Like, it's super boring. Nothing for the kids to do. So once they get out of school and everything's settled down and everything, we're going to do some traveling around for a while, and hopefully the kids will decide to go with us, but if they don't, that's ultimately their choice. But one of those where it's like, if I've got the opportunity to get out of Indiana and get somewhere a little more exciting with more things to do and more things to see, then it'd be cool to take them with us. Let them raise their families somewhere other than having a cornfield on all four sides of town. But anyways, I'm in the shop now, so I've got a big old mess here. That's my big old mess I need to get cleaned up right there. I was pumping out dining tables so fast that I didn't really even have time to clean anything up. It was just, one right after the other, getting them to the client's house, coming back, milling up the next one, getting that to the client's house, coming back, milling up the next one. So didn't end up with a whole lot of cleaning time, and ended up just kind of stacking everything everywhere in a room that's 14 by 16. When you're taking up like an 8-foot spot with just scrap pieces, that takes up a big chunk of the room. 11 acres, 10 plus tree covered. Haven't seen 8 acres of the property. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. We were in another little town that was next to this one before here, and we had about an acre. It wasn't a whole lot, but it was enough land, that you could actually like run around the property and everything. Where we're at now, it's in the country. We're like right on the edge of a small town, but it's a little, I call it like a U-turn neighborhood, not quite a cul-de-sac neighborhood. It's one road in, a little U-turn, and then one road out. I'd say probably 50 houses in our neighborhood, so pretty quiet. I think a lot of the people there are retired, just kind of hang out in their house. Kids have a couple friends that live in the neighborhood. Pretty cool place. But our house is a 5-bedroom house, and our master suite was built into what used to be the garage. So we don't have a garage at the house. So now I have to drive across town to come to Mom's, where I have my shop set up. Hopefully next summer I'll be able to actually build a shop on our property. And then it's just walking out back, going in the shop, working for the day, walking back in the house. Be able to stay up and work as long as I want to. I kind of get kicked out of here at a certain time. They get home from work and they're tired, want to sit down and relax and everything, so I usually get out of here around that time. But I'm going to clean up some of this mess, get the room functional again, sweep up, and then I'll be live again from the phone. I'm working on something. Gonna make something today. Shop is a detached garage. That's exactly what I'm going for, dude. I'm building a probably 20 by 30 steel barn. Um, I've got a few different ideas in mind depending on what the money looks like at that time. One is, a traditional steel framed mini barn, and the other is, you can look them up. So you can buy carports now that have 3 sides on them. It comes with, the 2 side walls and the back wall. And I've seen a guy that bought one of those. It's what was his? Close to 20 by 30. It was like, 18 by 28, something weird. And he built a front wall that's got a rolling bay door on it, and then it's got just a commercial like 36-inch, steel door. And he insulated everything. He spray foamed everything, and then he put, I think, R32 inside that front wall, and put a mini split in so he can heat and cool the space. And he said once you have the sprayed insulation, everything's airtight. It's all insulated. It holds its heat really well. And I think you can go that route for like super cheap. It's like $4,000. And you've got a shop built. And of course, I end up running all the electrical and everything myself. I'd love to go with like a solar setup, so that way everything is just completely detached from the house. It's on its own power and everything that's running for free. When I'm in the shop, if you went, they've got solar mini splits to where the panel actually comes with the mini split. The mini split's already charged before it gets to you. So all you're doing is, installing the duct and then installing the unit on the outside. Everything else is already set up to run. So then that runs off solar on its own. And then if I were to install panels and install all of the electrical on the inside with a battery, I only run one tool at a time, plus the LED lights that take pretty much nothing. So it really wouldn't be much to build a solar powered shop. Probably, I don't know, another $6,000 or $7,000. So if you're looking, $4,000 to $5,000 for the shop with the wiring, and then another $7,000 or $8,000, you're still under $15,000 all in to have a fully functional 20 by 30 shop. Yeah, I was thinking about putting a mini split in here, but I really don't know how long I'm even going to be here. If I can start that shop in the spring, then, midsummer it's going to be finished and ready to move into. So I really don't want to put too much into here. I've got like a window air conditioner that I used throughout the summer, and it did its job. Probably not the best or the most efficient thing to use, but for what it is, it did its job. The gas furnace is really nice. The gas furnace keeps it, perfectly controlled in here. It runs off a thermostat, so if I set that thing on 70 degrees, it stays between 70 and 72 at all times. And when you're dealing with epoxy and stuff like that, that's something that you really have to nail down. You have to have a certain humidity in your space, and you have to have a certain specific temperature in your space for it to cure properly. Otherwise it won't cure, or it'll cure too fast and it'll crack. And after spending a week getting everything prepped and set up, getting your slabs flattened, your containment built for your slabs, and then pouring and letting it sit for 4 days, running through like $500 worth of epoxy, and then coming into finding it cracked because you're not in a climate controlled space. That's one of the cool things about doing epoxy work, and especially deep pour epoxy work, is there's very few people out there that even do it, because either one, you don't have the space for it, two, you don't have, the means to do it or the knowledge to do it. I've seen a lot of guys that try it. If you get on Facebook Marketplace right now and just search, epoxy river tables, you'll pull up all sorts of guys that just, they didn't know what they were doing. They tried it, and kudos to them for trying it, but it didn't work out clearly. And then they're trying to sell their dining tables they made for less than what the slabs and the epoxy even cost. But if you can figure out how to do it, it's a huge market. It's kind of the in style right now. Between that and farm tables, it's what everybody's looking for. But it costs a lot of money to get into. It takes really specific tools to get into. It is pretty skilled as far as the woodworking area goes. But if you can get into it, there's a lot of money in it. But I'm going to hop on out of here. Good seeing everybody this morning. Let me get the shop cleaned up and everything. I'd say probably around lunchtime I'll be back live again. And we're actually going to build out a couple things that we need here in the shop. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that. Good seeing everybody. I'll talk to y'all later.